centuries, he preyed on the weak. Now, helping the hopeless is his last chance at redemption.
I guess the single life's particularly tough on you.
You noticed anything dangerous?
Just connecting with the people who need him can turn deadly.
Are you maybe in need of some rescuing?
Seriously, I wasn't hitting on you.
The socializing thing is brutal.
Angel.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Slade, the Buffyverse Revisited. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jermals.
I'm 7-time Grammy Award winner James.
And this week, we will be jumping into Season 1, Episode 2 of Angel, Lonely Heart.
Yes. Yes.
Owner of a Lonely Heart.
Yes. I'm not going to sing anymore tonight, though. So, well,
what do you mean tonight? We haven't seen each other today.
Oh, right. That's right. This is a completely separate day.
Yes.
And a whole separate recording, even though we're wearing the same clothes.
Are we, though?
Maybe it's just been long enough in between recordings that we've circled back to these clothes.
Maybe we own multiples of these clothes.
Maybe I do really like my chibi Batman shirt, so perhaps I do have several of them.
You probably do like that shirt. James, since it's been so long since we've spoken, how are you? What's new?
Things are pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah?
Things have
Talk to Daddy.
taken a turn for the worse. I had to have my entire prostate removed.
The entire, because so there's actually a way where they can just take part of it.
Yes.
Okay.
My left testicle ascended back up into my abdomen.
Okay.
And I've lost hearing in both ears.
Okay. That's unfortunate.
It is.
Wow.
How about you? How's things with you?
I mean, I had open heart surgery. And
then they had to stop because they realized it wasn't there.
Right. And then I had minimally invasive brain surgery. Everything seems fine except for some reason I can now taste colors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Strange.
Isn't orange angry?
It is. It's an angry taste.
Yeah.
It's when it hits
it's a very aggressive taste.
It's like a radish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bite into it and it kind of hurts a little, and you're like, "Ooh, Daddy!" And
spank me.
So that's me. That's me for this week. I don't know where to go with this, so I'm going to kick it over to you.
We've run out of directions to travel on this road, so we would appear to have found ourselves at a crossroads. And what do you do when you're at a crossroads? You sell your soul to a crossroads demon. We both went in different directions with that. We both went in different directions.
That shows where our
wow.
That shows how much we're willing to fight for this life.
Wow. Okay. That being said, how about if we dive into some listener and viewer thoughts and opinions and ratings on last week's series premiere of Angel, City of.
Okay, but before we do that, I do want to say quickly to everyone, I am aware that this previous week's version of Buffy, in the outro, I accidentally played a Buffy clip, or I'm sorry, an Angel clip on top, like the two meshed together. I am aware of it. It was funny, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm leaving it." So there you go.
Right. I do, before we get into reviews. Wow, easy for me to say.
Right.
I do want to say that before anyone questions it or what, and not that anyone necessarily would, but I do want to put it out there. You will probably notice that the Facebook posts about the current week's episode of Angel and the intro video to that week's episode on YouTube will be lacking the what would typically be the TV Guide advertisement, which I typically have for Buffy. So it's part of the Facebook post about the current episode, and I always include it in the opening of the episode for YouTube. For whatever reason, Angel didn't get that kind of advertising love at all through its entire 5 seasons. There's
The fucking matriarchy, man.
keeping the man down. So that's why that's missing. It's not for lack of wanting to have them there or lack of love of Angel. It's an equal love we share between the two shows. Actually, that's probably not true. We both probably love Angel a little bit more than we love Buffy.
Yeah.
But yeah, in case anyone's wondering, that's why you're not going to see those very often in relation to the episodes of Angel we cover, because they are few and far between, unfortunately. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into reviews for again last week's episode, our series premiere of Angel City of, and we'll start with Facebook, where our good friend Catherine says to us, "And now I have something to look forward to on Wednesday mornings. I'm so glad you're doing Angel as well. This is such a great first episode. I love everything about it. Darlene, you're going to love this show. Cordy and Angel together is a dynamic duo, and throw in Doyle and it's amazing. Doyle is a great character. I think it's great they showed Angel struggling with wanting human blood and resisting. The opening scene is the best. Fake drunk Angel is hilarious, and that fight was badass. I love the steak bracers. Yeah, I love the steak bracers too.
You actually completed.
I was just gonna say it actually gave me a full chub.
Fully.
Seeing the steak bracers.
All 4 inches, baby.
Son of a bitch. I enjoy the humor they put into the show. When Cordy realizes that Russell is a vamp, the way she was like, "I'm from Sunnydale. We had our own Hellmouth," like it's something to be proud of or that should impress him, was great. And telling him you don't know who he is and laughing at Russell because he was going to get his ass kicked was one of the highlights of the episode. Angel kicking Russell out the window was badass. I love Lindsay's reaction. Christian Kane is freaking amazing. Love him. I give this episode 5 badass convertibles. That's a good rating. I gave it 6. I broke our rating scale as far as season premieres have,
which is illegal, and you do have a warrant out for you as we speak.
Well, it's only illegal to break the scale for season premieres, not season enders, season finales, because we've broken the scale for season finales before.
Only for season openings, it's illegal.
Oh, okay. Well, come arrest me.
You're a wanted man. In more ways than one.
Jeremy. So now let's hop over to the old YouTube, where we have the tube of views, where we have our good friend SW, and she says, "Oh man, you two are gonna hate me for this series. No, I have not seen Angel. Scratch that. I tried with the first step years ago, and unfortunately, I still feel as negative about it. But I wanted to give it another shot with you two, and won't bail. But I certainly want to. LOL." This is not starting out good, SW.
I promise. I hereby give my word as a known, famous podcaster that you will love this. If you like Buffy or anything of this genre, USW will in fact love this series. It might take a couple of seasons, but I'm telling you, when it gets good, it gets fucking good.
I'm gonna say it won't even take a couple of seasons. I say before the end of the first season, she'll be hooked.
But you know what I'm talking about? Like about 3/4 of the way through the second season. Yeah, about 3/4 of the way where shit gets it just gets really fucking good, and it doesn't ever slack. It only gets better from there. There are no season 4s.
That's something we're gonna disagree on when the time comes.
Well, why don't you go fuck yourself? How about that, James? How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Cash me outside.
Cash me outside. How about that? But I won't bail. I certainly want to. LOL. So I listened to the pod today, but I watched Ep1 around 3 weeks ago and made some notes. Good. Always take notes.
Now, we're not trying to hand out homework to anybody.
No.
But if you choose to do so,
right,
it will not be frowned upon.
It will not be frowned upon, and you might earn one of these. Yeah.
Well, I'm chubbed.
yeah. So that's yours, SW. You can take that wink and run with it.
Or send it back if you're not into that.
Yeah, send it back. I mean, 100%. When you pop up to review this week's episode, Lonely Hearts, you feel free to be like, you know what? I'm gonna give that wink back. Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you, but no, thank you.
I'm not feeling it, you creepy motherfucker.
Well, I mean, don't call me a creepy motherfucker. Preferably, preferably don't. But yeah, feel free to return it. 100%. Oh, sorry. That wink came with a 100%.
Did you just choke on a chicken bone, or what? What the fuck is that?
That wink came with a 100% return guarantee.
Okay.
So
well, that's nice to know that you do have a good return policy.
Right. You can return it at any time, no question.
Does she have to have the receipt?
No.
You'll still get.
Yeah,
I'll not like a lame fucking store credit.
I will. If she returns the wink, I will give back to her what she paid out for it,
which was part of her soul.
Well, that's not true.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
No.
We know that you're the winking soul demon, so. Not fooling me, fucker. I've known you.
Fuck. I lost. Made some notes. Fair warning. Almost everything is the opposite opinion of you two. Sorry. I do believe that this show will get better, so these are the notes. However, I find them coincidental after listening to the pod. So here goes. Hate the theme song. Always hated the violin ditty when Sad Angel came on Buffy. I know. Blasphemy to you two.
No.
I mean, you're everyone's free to be wrong. It's fine.
You get the feeling that S-Dub doesn't like us really and doesn't care for even the shows, and that mainly she's here to break our balls.
I mean, that's fine.
Which is fine. I'm totally
I mean, I like it. I love a good ball busting.
Yeah, I am a pain slut. What?
What? No, I feel she's being honest, and that's what we strive for here at Slade the Buffyverse Revisited. Honesty.
Do we?
Not between you and I, but between us and the listeners, and the listeners and the listeners. Yes,
we lie to each other, though.
We lie to each other all the time.
Okay,
like we both still think we want to be doing this.
Right, yeah, and that's a massive lie that we continue to tell ourselves and each other. I secretly hope for death.
I openly hope for death to get out of everything. Not just the podcast.
I'm sick of paying fucking bills, okay?
She hates the theme song. I
remember not liking it at like the first maybe half of the season when I first started watching Angel. I remember being like, damn, I wish it was more like, Buffy's like, rock and roll fucking let's fucking do it. But
Right.
it got a place for me, and I was like, oh.
I think I think as the season progresses and as the show progresses, you realize that the theme song really does reflect, much like Buffy, the theme song reflects the overall tone of the show.
Yeah, because he's very melancholy. He's very,
right.
Let's be honest, a little bit melodramatic.
Right.
He's a little bit of a whiny bitch.
Okay. Just calm the fuck down over there, all right? She says, well, that was an opener. Doyle can get killed off anytime. Excuse me, but where is Whistler? Did they have the audacity to make Doyle and just not bring Whistler in? Bad choice, in my opinion. Actor who played Whistler had more charisma, no pun intended.
Disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I like. Don't get me wrong. I would have loved to see Perlich come back as Whistler. I thought I enjoyed Whistler.
See, I never really did. I much prefer Doyle, and I prefer him as what's his name, Quinn. Anyway, I prefer him as an actor.
But I would have been okay with bringing Whistler back. But for whatever reason, like we discussed last week, for whatever reason, the producers opted not to.
Like you said earlier, it's okay to be wrong.
Who just gets in cars with strangers? Not the brightest bulb.
I do.
Jeremy, man, you don't even have to offer him anything.
No, just pull up.
Right, just pull up and be like, "Hey, get in the car," and he's like, "Okay."
No, you just go.
Right.
I jump right in.
Jumps right in.
I mean, who wants to rape this? Let's be honest.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I'm
perfectly safe.
Rape isn't about attractiveness; it's about control.
Oh, well, nobody wants to control me. Trust me.
I do. Unpopular opinion. I mean, they've all been so far. SW. Right. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's exactly. How bad are we gonna get?
David Boreanaz is not even remotely attractive to me. Fuck this shit.
The show is over. You hear me? The show is fucking over. Okay, sorry. Get back to where you left off.
But hey, to each their own. Beauty is subjective. Except in the case of David Boreanaz, where it is objective, he's gorgeous.
Where it's clear that he is probably the most attractive man that has ever lived.
Yeah. Charisma Carpenter is gorgeous. I will not be taking any other opinions or comments on this. Yeah, we won't either. We agree.
Yeah, we don't disagree.
We do not disagree.
We are quite happy that Ms. Charisma is one of the co-stars of this fabulous show.
Right. But mind you, that's not just because she is gorgeous. I mean, that helps 100%. But her and David have pretty good chemistry together. Like they interact very well together. This kind of harkens back to what I said when we were reviewing this week's episode of Buffy, Living Conditions. This was a great opportunity to put a couple of characters together that hadn't really spent a lot of one-on-one time with each other on the flagship show, and it works out wonderfully. Like the two characters play off of each other fantastic.
Oh yeah, they're great together, but for me, it's all about the spank bank.
Wow.
Being honest, I love Charisma Carpenter. I love. Great actress. I wish she
Uh,
was still doing something. She deserves to be starring in something. That's all I'm saying. She's that good.
SW goes on to say, if Tina doesn't make it past this episode, I definitely won't be mad about it.
Wait, if
She's
who? If who?
Tina.
Tina. Oh. Okay. I'm sorry.
She's annoying as hell, and girl is too handsy, and I'm not ready for Mr. Angel to be macking. Um, this is funny because until I read this, I never thought about like people addressing Angel. Like he never gives a last name. He's just always like, I'm Angel. So it suddenly made me wonder, like, do people like, we never saw it in the show, but did people ever call him Mr. Angel? I think it would be fucking funny.
I think they should. I think he's earned it.
Right.
Oh.
3 computers. That's some serious internet sleuthing at that time. White Knight Angel putting in the work. Oh yay, got my wish. Bye, Tina. That's wow. You are dark, SW.
I was
like
well, if you
it.
recall, I was not a fan of Tina either.
I like it. I'm sure it's just me, but I feel like Cordy was off. They wrote her just oddly to me, trying for character development.
Basically,
Yeah.
I feel like Cordy was a 2-dimensional character in Buffy. Because let's face it, there were so many characters,
Right.
and I feel like they're trying to lay the groundwork for her 3rd dimension, possibly her 4th dimension.
Right.
Um,
I didn't feel like the character was off though. I felt she was very, very much Cordelia-like.
I didn't think she was off at all, but
Yeah.
I can see where I think she's coming from, where S-Dub's coming from. It's not that she was off, it's that we're seeing more of a different kind of Cordy, I guess you could say. It's like the same Cordy, but I don't know how to put it into words, but I think I see what she's saying.
2 out of 5. Sorry, this episode bored the crap out of me. None of the characters engaged me. Angel seems too white knighty for me. I need an edge. Doyle was flat.
Always white knighty. He's always been white knighty, unless he's Angelus.
Doyle was flat, annoying, and useless to me. Cordy was written differently to me, and it just put me off. And I wanted someone to kill Tina the moment she came on. Please don't take my opinions personally, because I do know I usually have unpopular opinions, but I never expect anyone to agree or change their mind. Just express a different point of view. I do think this show will get better in my eyes because I do know it has its own cult following. I know about the crossovers, but never seen the Angel eps with those, so it'll be nice to finally see the whole story of those small connections they do between the shows. I do love the commentary as usual, and I'll get into more of a discussion when there's eventually a bigger plot that goes on in Angel. Oh, please tell me there is, because I won't be able to stick with it if there isn't a bigger picture.
Oh, there's a much bigger picture.
Not
there.
Without going into full-on spoilers, Buffy, in my opinion, and I think Jeremy might agree, kind of perfected the season-long story arc formula. Mm-hmm. Angel perfected the series-long storytelling formula.
Yep.
Series long.
Angel has a series big bad, right, whereas Buffy would have each season would have a big bad.
Right.
Yeah, you'll
and it's the 5 seasons of Angel are, what's the best way to put it? So we've talked about this before. Buffy is very good at, like I just said, season long story arcs that feature one ultimate big bad, and each episode though is kind of self-contained, telling its own story, but it plays into the bigger story. Angel also does that, but on an added layer on top of that is that each season, even though each episode is kind of self-contained and tells the story of a overarching season story and a season big bad, is then grouped into an overall series-long story arc and an ultimate series-long big bad. So, yeah. So yeah, there's multiple major plots that we're going to encounter,
and there's tons of smaller, more condensed. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
By the end of Angel, if you say no, I was right, I didn't like it,
we'll refund your money.
We will refund you 100% from James' bank account.
Yes, of everything you've spent.
Yep, every nickel. You just keep track of it.
Yeah, just send me receipts.
Yep, James.
When it's over. Yeah,
we'll be dead by then.
Probably self-inflicted.
More than likely.
I do love the commentary. As always, you guys rock, and I look forward to listening to what you think of episode 2. Again, sorry for being so harsh, but I do feel like I can be honest with you two, and you guys not feel personally attacked. Well, maybe about
I feel personally fucking attacked. All right, I'm pissed. No, I could. No, I literally couldn't care less. I love people that have, especially if it is a directly opposing opinion, because then you can sit back and be like, "Oh, okay, maybe that's what they're."
I, on the other hand, am hurt. I am betrayed. I am sad. And I'm probably going to have to resume cutting myself.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
where's your preferred cutting area?
On the base of my penis.
Okay.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
No, and I should have.
Again, sorry for maybe our theme song. Not sure you'll ever take my opinion seriously now. See you next week. By the way, I have more opposing opinions on Buffy season 4, but I'll just hop over there and make you crazy on those opinions. Thank you for the comments, SW. What?
We've already gone over those.
Yeah. Thank you for the comments, SW. Please never comment again. No, no, I'm kidding. I'm 100% kidding. No, like Jeremy just said, I love opposing opinions too. I mean, that's, well,
because then it makes me look at things in a different way and be like, maybe that's what that person is seeing, or
right,
like, oh, they're okay,
Right. Most of the time, it's like, oh, I didn't know someone was so capable of being wrong.
Being so wrong.
So wrong. No, no, we're kidding. We're 100% kidding. And honestly, you make a comment in there about not taking your opinion seriously. No, we'll 100% take your opinion seriously.
Will we though?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like them being her opinions,
not really, but not really. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
of course, just because you disagree with us doesn't mean we're not gonna.
Right.
F-Dub, I believe, is F-Dub one of our original commenter?
She's one of them. Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember if I thought she began it all, but yeah, of course we're gonna take your opinion seriously. Just because you're wrong doesn't mean we're gonna take any less.
No, and honestly, like that's, one of the great things about movies and TV and any form of entertainment really is that it's all subjective. It's all going to be based on what you like and what you don't like and this and that. Honestly, what impress me, I'm going to say impress me, but it's kind of for lack of any better verbiage, unless Jeremy can think of something here after I say it, is that you're willing to go back and give it another shot.
Now that takes balls
to see if you'll find what's to like about it or discover what's to like about it.
Willing to be maybe proven wrong.
Sure.
And Now maybe she won't be. Maybe she'll get to the end and be like,
right.
yeah.
Maybe she'll get to the end and be like, nah, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And what thrills me even more is that you enjoy listening to us talk about Buffy so much that you're willing to revisit Angel, a show that you are already pretty sure you don't like.
Yeah.
To give it another shot and take that journey with us. So that means a tremendous amount to me. I'm sure it does to Jeremy. Jeremy, confirm, deny?
Nah, not really. I don't really care.
No? Okay.
No, of course. Because let me say, there are shows out there that there is nothing that could get me to get into. Like there is no that you couldn't pay me to watch them. So for a show that she already is like 95% sure she's not into, and to watch it anyway just because she likes our podcast, that's fucking dope, man.
Yeah, it's dope as fuck.
You know?
So yeah, we'll 100% always take your opinions seriously, because like I said, entertainment is always subjective.
Of course,
like
art.
Right. So your
opinion, like Picasso, some people are wrong.
So your opinions are no more or less valid than ours or anyone else's.
Than ours, yeah.
Right.
We're just two goobers that are doing a podcast. That's the only difference.
Right. The fact that your opinions might be different than ours certainly doesn't invalidate them in any way, shape, or form.
The only person that has any invalid opinions is James. And I have stated that clearly on numerous episodes.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, Darlene hasn't gotten around to giving us her full review of.
Wow. And we were considering her for a full-time, well-paid position on this very program.
Well, I don't know.
It's let us down.
I don't know about the well-paid part, but if she's willing to work for slightly flirtatious advances from me,
Why are you trying to make me throw up in my mouth? Why? God, you're a sick man.
But she did comment. She did comment to SW on
SW in house
on YouTube, and she made a similar comment to Catherine back on Facebook. She said, "Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on Angel." Speaking to SW and Catherine, as we go along. Interestingly enough, I did not think I was going to like Angel at all and wasn't really looking forward to it, but I'm shocked at how much I loved this series premiere. To be honest, I've wondered what everyone saw in David Boreanaz this entire...
Well, James has removed his headphones and mic and is, in fact, for I believe the third time this season, quitting the show.
And we're only 2 episodes in.
Right. He is that hurt. And frankly, I'm let down and disappointed on his behalf.
She says, now I know. So she gets it now. At least now she gets it.
Oh, now she gets it.
Yeah, she says, now I know.
She understands
how everyone, why everyone feels the way they do about David Boreanaz.
Right? I mean, I can say that I don't really feel that way about him anymore. I don't like his choice of acting roles anymore. But yeah.
She does go on to say that details forthcoming over on the Facebook page regarding her thoughts and opinions.
And boy, did those details not come.
And feelings about the premiere episode of Angel City of, which as of the time of recording at 1:17 a.m. on Saturday or Sunday morning, August 20th, 2023, have still not come through. So once again, I'm hurt. I'm sad. I'm betrayed. And I will probably have to resume cutting myself.
Where do you cut yourself, James?
On the base of my penis. All right. With that out of the way, Jeremy, if you have nothing else
No, I have nothing
to add, how about if we serve up some Mexican street corn style dates and deets?
I will pass on that.
For
I do not like Mexican street corn.
what? Why? What's not to like?
It tastes like burned pubic hair.
Oh, you're insane.
Ugh, it's not my thing, bro.
Oh, whatever.
Sorry.
How
How about just a bologna sandwich?
Fuck bologna. Bologna is disgusting.
Whoa. No. Fuck you, sir.
No, bologna is
Fuck
fucking
you.
disgusting.
Okay. Fuck you.
Bologna is
And the horse you rode in. Fuck your whole state, all of your ancestors, and everything else.
Bologna is horridly disgusting. Anybody that eats that should be put down in the street.
You heard that, Darlene. He wants to see you put down in the street as though you didn't matter.
She knows I loves her.
It's a sad, sad day.
Where was I? Oh yes, dates and deets. Wrong. Dates and deets for Angel, season 1, episode 2, our second episode of the series, Lonely Heart. Our episode director this week is James A. Contner, and our episode credited writer is David Fury. Our original air date was October 12th, 1999 on the now defunct WB network. Our Nielsen rating upon original airing was 3.9 million households when it first aired, a 1.1 million drop from our series premiere. That makes you're excited that it dropped?
I like anything that drops.
Wow.
You know, that is, wow,
that's a big hit.
That means a lot of people didn't like the premiere, which I don't get.
That's a big hit. Ranking it 86th out of the 135 network primetime shows for the week, and 3rd out of the 15 primetime shows airing on the WB for the week.
What was number 1 overall?
On primetime or the WB? I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't look into that.
Wow. Useless.
Fine, you can start doing this research then. How's that?
It just won't get done.
Our regular cast, as always, this season includes David Boreanaz as Angel, Charisma Carpenter as Cordelia, and Glenn Gwynn as Doyle.
Charisma Carpenter,
Glenn Gwynn, and David Boreanaz, Angel. That's sexy, isn't it? You like it?
Oh, I finished.
Our guest stars this week include Elizabeth Rahm as Kate Lockley, Lillian Birdsill as Sharon Reichler, Obi Ndefel as Danny the bartender, Johnny Mesner as Kevin, and Derek Hughes as Neil. Our episode synopsis this week reads: Angel turns on his killer charm in a Los Angeles singles bar, where a serial murderer is hunting for victims, and Doyle develops a crush on Cordelia.
That was actually a pretty good description.
This one, for a change, was actually pretty good, yeah.
Mine was super short, probably the shortest I've ever had. And it just says, Angel tracks a worm-like demon that preys on lonely hearts at a trendy nightclub.
Okay.
Not wrong, but...
Not wrong.
Sure.
I think mine might be actually
That's
better
the
this
first time you've won.
I don't think it's the first time,
Oh,
but
it's the first time.
I don't think it's the first
You've
time, but
never
it's
won
definitely.
anything in your life. Let's be.
Wow. Wow.
Ooh, okay. Are you
Now
cutting again?
Now I'm sad again.
Now I'm sad again.
We open at the newly established Angel Investigations Office. Angel's sitting in the dark alone, and the light flips.
Why don't we? Right, a little bit of yank yank. Because all you can hear is, I mean, it's silent. It's just, that's all you hear. We are 12. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, we're this many.
Exactly. Exactly.
Suddenly the light turns on and he blinks to refocus, and it's Doyle. And he's got a plan for the three of them to go out together and hit the LA nightlife. And he kind of, he tells Angel, he's trying to get him out there and, meeting the people and, engaging like he's supposed to be. And he admits he also has a personal agenda. He wants Angel to put in a good word for him with Cordelia without letting him know that he's part demon. Angel's kind of putting the kibosh on that when Cordelia shows up with a box of business cards that she had printed. And she gives one to Angel and one to Doyle, and they're looking at it, and Angel asks if that's a butterfly, and Doyle guesses that it's a night hunting owl, and Cordelia is quite upset, and she says it's an angel, and she whacks Doyle on the arm, and he immediately begins to seize in pain because he's having a vision. And all his vision is of a trendy LA nightclub and no other information. And Angel quips, I guess you're getting your wish. We're going out on the town after all. And they leave. And meanwhile, we cut to this club, and it's a club called Diablique. And we see a young woman by the name of Sharon sitting alone at the bar, and this gentleman named Kevin comes up to her and hands her he asks if he can sit, and then he strikes up a conversation with her, starting with the classic line, I just hate places like this, don't you? And that is our cold open.
All right. Of course, when he says that, she immediately punches him in the throat because she hates, one-liners that pathetic.
Right.
So as he's stumbling around and literally choking to death, she's dancing on the table nude. She has dropped a little bit of LSD, so things are a little crazy for her. Where did you leave off? Anyway, so Angel and them, they're in the all up in the club, passing out business cards and whatnot. Sharon and Sharon Peters and Kevin, they quickly they're still yakking, but they kind of make a connection. It's clear they gonna fuck. So they
Can I
raise up.
ask you a quick question?
A quick question?
Where did you get the name Peters?
Sharon Peters.
It's not her name.
Really, James? Really, James?
If it's a reference, I don't get it.
You don't get Sharon Peters?
No, I'm sorry. It's also 1:30 in the morning, so I could blame it on that, but I don't get where you're going.
Sharing Peters?
Oh,
Sharon Peters?
okay.
Wow. I think I heard that when I was in third grade.
Wow.
So
That could
Okay.
explain where things went wrong for you.
It could. Oh, there's way more to that, my friend. Let me tell you. So Sharon Peters and Kevin leave. Um, I'm sorry, they actually leave before Angel and his peeps get there and start handing out business cards and whatnot. And
They actually don't, because Cordelia points her out to Doyle at one point as they're leaving.
okay, well, as they're whatever. Well, you know what? Why don't you just shut the fuck up when it's not your turn to talk? How about that? You think that would work out okay? So Doyle's telling Cordy to be cool, be under the radar, since some people might, think Angel is the V word, and Cordelia is like vampire, and Doyle's like, no, vigilante.
You
Like,
stupid bitch.
you stupid bitch. And then he punched her
Right in the vagina.
right in the Virginia. But what he didn't know was she's wearing a steel cup. And he breaks every bone in his fucking hand and deserves it.
Yeah.
Okay. That didn't work out very well. So Angel goes up and talks to the bartender, doesn't really get any progress with anything, and he happens to spot a blonde sitting a couple of stools down, and he kind of awkwardly strikes up a conversation. Her name's Kate, and she seems kind of like him, kind of inept, at the whole social thing. And she what's the word I'm looking for? She comes across as a whore a little bit.
Wow, that's not what I took away from it.
I'm saying as the conversation goes along, like she warms up to him quickly. Let's be honest. I mean, am I wrong?
She just came off as awkward to me, not as a whore. Sorry.
Okay.
Well,
maybe
we interpreted that scene much differently.
Well, because it just seems like she goes from really awkward, kind of like him, to then she's just like, let's go somewhere a little less, noisy, somewhere a little more quiet.
Right.
And it's just like, whoa, wow. And she's all telling him how she's there every fucking night. And I don't know, it just comes across a little hooey to me. I'm sorry. Not that there's anything. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's fine. Just calling it what it is. Come on. Across the room, a man comes up to Cordy. He's got one of the business cards, and he's like, "Is this you?" And she's like, "Yeah. Do you need help?" And he's like, "Well, I just wanted to know if this was your number so I could call you sometime for a date." And Doyle jumps in immediately, and he's like, yo, she's with the ladies with me. And Cordy's like, no, I'm not. And she's like, no, you can't call me for a date. We're professional, deal here. And he goes on to call her a hooker, just straight up. His buddy walks up, and he's like, yeah, she's a hooker, and her pimp here's giving me fucking flack. And Doyle's just keeps being like, let's be cool. We don't need any trouble. And then he fucking headbutts the motherfucker, and all hell breaks loose. So there's a big ruckus. Angel comes over. He's owning some shit. Doyle's not doing too bad. He gets bumped around. Takes a couple of fucking 5-knuckle shuffles, but he's not doing too bad. For a smaller guy. And the bartender comes over and breaks it all up. And he's like, you fucking two. It's always with you two. Get the fuck out of here. So they fuck off. And this chick, like, who's clearly got the hots for Angel now after seeing him fights, all like, are you okay? And Doyle's like, yeah, I'm fine. Well, she wasn't even talking to Doyle. She's talking to Angel. And then she's kind of just all up on Angel's grill. So he starts talking to her, thinking maybe she's the one that's going to need help. And Angel kind of notices Kate watching them, and then she leaves the club. And so she's not getting no D that night.
She is not getting the Angel D.
No on hell D.
Nope.
The next morning, we see Karen. I'm Karen. we, we do not see Karen. We see Kevin and Sharon Peters wake up together. And Kevin's dead. Straight up. And that's not me being goofy. Kevin is fucking dead. And Sharon Peters is putting on her clothes. And you look, the camera kind of pans over to Kevin. And he just looks all like a zombie almost, like all kind of decayed and shit. He's all fucked up. And Sharon looks fine. And she doesn't seem to be bothered by this dead body. And so we found our killer, James. It's this fucking Sharon Peters. I knew it as soon as I saw her. I'm just going to say that right now. I knew it was her.
Did you?
All along. All along.
Yeah.
Question.
Okay,
we cut back to Angel Investigations, and they pretty much spend the day researching past incidents that were connected to this club, trying to, find something to go on, because they've still got nothing. They've still not found who this person is that needs help. And in their searching, they find some shit about a mutilated woman and an eviscerated man, both known to have been at this club. So Doyle and Cordy go to do some research while Angel goes back to the club to see what the deal is. Basically, like, he's like, killer's going to be anywhere, they're going to be there. So I'm going back to the club. And they're like, dude, it's 10 a.m. He's like, listen, I have a drinking problem, okay? So he goes back to the club. Of course, on his way in, right before he goes in, he bumps into Kate. And he's trying to warn her off from going in there, because he knows there's a fucking killer in there. And he's trying to keep her safe, which I don't know why he doesn't really even know her. It could be her for all he fucking knows. But he's trying to warn her off, and she's basically like, you know what? I can do what the fuck I want to do, and you can go to hell. And she goes the fuck in. And he's like, okay, fuck, I was just trying to save your life, but you know what? Go get murdered then, bitch.
Angel, after she storms off, he's like, been there, done that.
Yeah. So once he's inside, he's talking. Angel talks to the bartender again and a couple other patrons, and finds out that Kevin went home the night before with a lady named Sharon, who's a regular there, and is there that right then, according to the bartender. So Sharon sees Sharon going off, and I didn't catch this part in the episode. How did he discover where Sharon lived?
Well, so you also didn't mention that we see Sharon there chatting up another dude.
Well, yeah, that's why I said he saw them fucking off. But I was like, wait a minute, how did he know where she lived?
He went to the payphone and grabbed the phone book, the yellow pages.
Yes. And he just looked under Peters. And found her. We cut to the fucking door flying open to what is apparently this woman's apartment, and Angel storms in. And the first thing I thought was, Sharon Peters is fucking dead. Otherwise, he couldn't have came in that fucking apartment. Because as we have said, vampires cannot enter a personal domicile without being invited. Unless that motherfucker's dead.
Right.
So, I think he pretty much knows this at the same time as he's able to get in. and she walks in, or I'm sorry, she walks in. He walks in, and we see Neil, that man she had left with. He is now up and dressing, and Sharon Peters is now on the bed looking like a 10-day-old corpse.
We should probably mention how these people are dying.
Well,
because we haven't mentioned
I
that
was going to
yet.
leave it a little. I wasn't going to say that.
Okay.
Because everybody's seen the episode who's listening.
Okay.
The worm is coming out of the one chest and into the back of another person. That's how the is it a demon? I don't even. He calls it a demon, so
yeah.
We'll go with demon. It's more of like just
parasite.
It's like a parasite, but apparently it's a demonic parasite, and it's jumping from body to body because as Angel and this Neil are talking, because Neil turns to him immediately and says, "You're not human," and Angel's like, yeah, "No fucking shit, neither are you." And basically, he's like, "I can't stop." He's like, "You have to stop doing this," and the demon Neil is like, "I can't until I find the right body that I can stay in," because apparently he's only able to stay in these bodies for a brief period of time. We're assuming the body begins to decay too quickly. He's trying to find the right body.
Right.
Which I have a problem with, because as we find out later, this is a dawn of time type of demon, so he's been around since the beginning of time, and he still hasn't found a fucking body that he can stay in. So maybe humans aren't the fucking way to go. Maybe go to another dimension, dickhead. But anyway, I digress. He's like, I can already tell that this body isn't going to work either. And Angel's like, well, that's the body you're going to have to fucking die in then. And they begin fisticuffs, and Angel basically gets fucking just housed. Because he goes full vamp face, so he's in full strength mode, and he still gets worked. And eventually the fucking thing's got him down, and then it grabs him and fucking yeets his ass all the way across the apartment, upside down into a wall, and crumples down to the floor, and then it bails.
Yep.
And right as Angel gets back up to his feet, here's Kate.
Hold on. Time out.
No.
Time out.
No.
Time the fuck out.
Okay.
Did you catch the goof 'em up in Oopsie?
That you could see a boom?
Not a boom, a full-fledged cameraman in the bottom right corner.
I forgot to mention in last week's episode that there was a massive goof 'em up in Oopsie when What's-His-Face was walking up the steps behind Cordelia as she was running. And the actual guy that plays it was standing off to the side so that he could just walk up, and it would appear that he was that quick and was there. But you could clearly see him in the shot, waiting for his cue. Yeah.
I missed that. But I actually, I rewound this scene because it happened so fast. The first time I was paying attention to David Boreanaz. And I saw it like in my periph. And I was like, what the fuck was that? So I rewound it and I watched it again. And I was like, that's a full ass cameraman.
It's not actually a goof 'em up though. I've looked these up because I'm like, how did this happen twice in back-to-back episodes? It was originally shot in 4:3. So you would have you never saw these things originally. When they stretched it to letterbox for modern shit, you're seeing things that you would have never seen. Because they have the little mark out on the lens, like this shit can be seen, this can't. But so yeah. Because I thought, how can this happen in 2 episodes? But go back to that first one and you'll see he's clearly just standing there waiting for his cue to step forward and be like, "Arr, I'm already here,"
Yeah.
So,
I completely missed that one.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Where the hell was I now? So yeah, so it's Kate, and she's got him at gunpoint and reveals that she is in fact an LAPD officer of some type. I've got a lot of questions about Kate.
She's a detective.
And he's like, "What?" We come back from what would have been a commercial, and she's convinced because she can look over his shoulder and see the dead Sharon Peters in the bed, and she's like, "You're my guy," and he's like, "No, no, no, no." And he tries to convince her, but she's not having it. So she puts him up against the wall and is going to handcuff him. He does like a kung fu reverse flippity flop kick. He's like, "Sorry about this," and kind of just knocks her down. And then he goes running and fucking dives out the window and does a swan dive on top of a car hood, bounces right up to his feet and bails. And she kind of gets to the window and she's like, "Bastard, I'll see you in hell." And they are now arch nemesis. But yeah, he jumps out. Meanwhile, we see that the demon Neil has gone back to the club. So apparently, he's got to jump. This demon has to jump bodies pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because which we will see later. It does have to be fairly quick. And as dawn is approaching, Angel's making his way to Cordelia's apartment, not knowing that Kate has gone to. And I'm glad. She has gone to search his crib. James, is this in fact an illegal search and seizure?
Well, not a seizure because she didn't take anything.
Well, that we know of. She might have taken a pair of his underwear.
But it is illegal.
Because there's no way she could have gotten a search warrant that quickly.
Right.
And she's there by herself. A search warrant doesn't get served by one cop.
Right. And she does mention at the end of the episode that she illegally searched his place.
Oh, that's right. Okay. That's right. I'd forgotten about, because that's bugged me the whole rest of the episode. I was like, what? First of all, how did she know where he lived? And second of all, is none of his shit locked? And like, I don't know. So yeah, she's illegally searching his place. Angel gets back to Cordy's and wakes her and Doyle up, and asks them about the whole research they've been doing, and they explain to him who this is, that he's like the dawn of time type of demon, been doing this forever. That's when I was like, well, then what the fuck? If you haven't found a body since the dawn of time that can house you, then maybe there's not one. So he's like, what's the skinny on this demon? They're like, well, it's really fucking strong. And he's like, yeah, I know that. It's already fucking housed me once. And he's like, are there any weaknesses? And they're like, not really, but it does have a thing. It hates fire. And Angel's like, oh, we share that in common. And so he knows he's going to need some help. So he goes to make a phone call to Kate and requests a meeting. And he's just like, listen, give me 5 minutes to explain and prove to you that I'm not the killer. And she's like, no. And she hangs up. And the episode ends.
That's the end of the episode. So tell me, Jeremy.
Of course she agrees. Where do we go from there, James?
To a hell dimension.
Yes, we do.
And it's on fire.
It is on fire. It is.
We cut to later that night at the club, and Kate's sitting at a table. And Kate's sitting at the table, Detective Kate, and the bartender comes up, and she's like, your usual, and she flashes her badge. And he's like, well, that's not your usual. And she's like, sometimes we like to switch it up a little bit. Sometimes you might want to take it in the... But never mind.
Whoa!
And she tells him...
Go on, where you were talking.
She asks if he remembers the gentleman she was talking to the other night, and he says he does. And she's like, well, when he gets here, let me know right away.
And he's like, what do I look like? A fucking paid servant? I'm a bartender.
And then some sleazeball comes up to her and lays the I just hate places like this line on her. So it's clear that this dude is the new host of the Parasite. And
This guy's also apparently homosexual.
and
Oh, really? Because he would have hooked up with Neil. Neil.
Neil, right?
Okay.
Well, unless Neil, no, because we saw Neil hook up with that cute Asian girl.
Oh yes, and then we see the Asian girl smile, or not smile, but have a look where you're like, "Oh, she's the demon now."
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
I did forget. That was such a quick little interstitial scene. I'd forgotten about it.
Right. It would have been better if they hadn't shown us that. We've just assumed this dude and Neil hooked up.
Well, it was the 90s. They didn't believe in such things.
That's true. To the extent that there's a scene in the before Angel and Kate start talking, where we cut to Angel and a guy's walking away from him looking kind of disgusted, and Angel says, "I swear I wasn't hitting on you."
Yeah. Like, I can't believe he would even think that I'm gay.
So she's trying to give this guy the brush off, and the bartender comes back and tells Kate that Angel's out back. And so
in the alley.
Right. And she's like, "Well, what's he doing there?" And the bartender's like, I don't know, but he looks like he's getting ready to run. You better go.
Like he's waiting to ambush you, is what he's doing.
And
she's like, okay.
So she follows him back there, and she exits into the alley, and she starts to say something, and the bartender grabs a bottle of wine and slams it over the back of Kate's head, knocking her out. Misdirect, the bartender is actually the new host of the Parasite.
So there was a homosexual relationship.
No. He hooked up with the cute Asian girl.
Damn.
Which I'm surprised this bartender didn't become the host Parasite sooner, because bartenders are hooking up with these skanks on the rig.
Are you slut shaming?
No, not at all. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
They're man whores.
Okay.
Nothing shameful about it. Get that V where you can get that V, my boy.
Okay.
So yeah, he cold cocks her with the wine bottle, and she's knocked out. And I'm thinking brain trauma. I mean, that's a big ass bottle of wine, and he fucking smoked her in the head with it. Right. You know what I thought was funny is they didn't use one of those breakaway bottles that you would normally see in these shows, where like it hits her and it shatters. Like obviously he didn't.
They used a real wine bottle, and he really hit her in the head with it.
I don't think that
actress died that day.
She died. Yeah, she didn't go on to star on Law and Order.
No. God, no. Ugh, Law and Order. Ugh. Let's revisit that. There's only 39 seasons.
I love Law and Order.
Oh God, you're a paralegal, so that's
So Kate's knocked out, and the demon bartender starts to tear her shirt open. And when
he did that, it was a little hot. I got a little chubby on that one. I was like, "Oh, he's aggressive." Oh shit!
Right. You were like, "I wish he would tear my shirt like that."
Yeah, because as soon as he did, she was like, "Daddy," and I was like, "Whoa, where's this going?"
And you were jealous.
This really bad music started playing in the background, and I was like, "Oh, I know where this is going."
You were jealous of her. You wanted to be her in that moment.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So anyway, we then see that he's got her in embrace. He's chest to back, and
like giving her the Heimlich maneuver.
And the burrowing parasite demon is leaving his body and getting ready to enter Kate, and Angel shows up
And smokes.
Yeah, he slams that dude in the back of the fucking head with a
It's like a
2x4.
2x4. Yeah, you would die from that.
Right. Forcing the demon back inside the bartender, and even though he's kind of weak, he still manages to get the best of Angel, and he tosses Kate and Angel into the basement, locking them in.
And Angel's like, well, we can't get out. We might as well get naked.
Right. And then we cut back into the bar, and what's happening there?
Well,
it's on fire.
There's a fire. No. The demon is now going around to, like, first of all, he's falling apart. Like, he's got chunks of shit on his face falling off. He's all disheveled and kind of bloody, but he's just walking from person to person like, hey, nice to see you here. And like, he's just, it's hilarious, really.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to make a connection, get to somebody that he can quickly get into another body, which I don't know why he just doesn't grab somebody from behind and just be like, blah! And you know what I mean? Like,
right.
If it's life or death situation, but, yeah, so that's not going well for him. Meanwhile, Kate and Angel finally get out of the basement because
I'm glad you're going to talk. I'm glad you're going to
talk.
I'm
talking about this. And Kate's like, how the fuck we getting out of here? And Angel's like, we're going out those windows. And they're like 20 feet up. So this is a deep ass fucking basement. And she's like, those are like 20 feet up. How are we going to get there? Well, he reaches into apparently his bat belt and pulls out what does he pull out, James?
A grapple launcher.
A grappling launcher. Yes, he does. And she literally goes, who are you? Like, who the fuck? And he shoots it, and it goes up to a wooden bracing thing and wraps around it perfectly and hooks on. And he's like, sweet. And he, gives it a pull and he breaks it all off. It all breaks and comes down, and your picture is frozen on my screen. Are you in fact still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So he pulls out of that, and she's just like, yeah, okay, let's go. So she just goes back to the door, and she's got an extra gun in her ankle holster, and she just shoots the lock. And I'm like, fuck, why didn't she do this before? Hey, you're back.
Good.
And
I do want to say real quick, this is the second of 2 Batman references in this episode.
Yeah, somebody likes Batman that helped write this or wrote it. Shoots the lock out, they get out, they go out.
Why didn't she do that in the first place?
That's what I said a minute ago. I go, why the fuck didn't she just do this the second the guy slammed the door shut and locked it?
I wasn't listening to you.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna reverse that role this season,
apparently. Angel locates the bartender like pretty much immediately, and they start fighting. Again, even fucked up and weakened, the demon's kicking Angel's ass. And they're outside, by the way, by this point, kind of in an alleyway kind of deal. And
yeah, because he had. Did you mention that he had finally just grabbed some woman and was?
I didn't mention that, but yeah, he was just like, which is what I said from the beginning. Why didn't he just fucking just walk up behind somebody and just be like, blah? They wouldn't even know what's coming, But yeah, he's about to forcefully, insert himself and penetrate this woman. And Angel, that's when Angel sees him, and they start the fisticuffs. And there's a very conveniently placed barrel that's on fire here in this alley that they're fighting in. And guess what happens? Angel throws him into it, and it topples over, and it all dumps onto him, and the demon's on fire. And he's like, well, and as we've learned, fire is its weakness. And Angel's like, oh, fuck, because it's like coming right at him. It's going to be like, I'm taking you with me, motherfucker. And right then, Kate arrives and fucking caps this fucker like 3 times and puts him downtown.
Down.
Which halts the attack on Angel, thus saving our hero.
Yes.
And then we cut to the aftermath scene where there's police and EMS and all that stuff on scene. And Kate and Angel are talking, and she admits she never would have guessed the bartender was the killer, but it was him all along. And Angel's like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, sure was, bitch.
Sure was. And she thanks Angel for saving her life earlier, and this is when she confesses to having searched his apartment, and he's like, did you take a pair of my boxers? Because I couldn't find them earlier. And she's like, listen, I mean, you're hot, so I did.
You think Angel's a boxers guy?
Boxer briefs.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely not a tighty-whitey dude.
No, he's not a tighty-whitey guy, but 100% boxer briefs.
Oh, yeah. Any self-respecting man is boxer briefs.
100%.
When you're a teenager, you're boxers. When you become a man, you go boxer briefs.
Right. When preteen and younger, you're tighty-whities.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
You're like 14, 13, to like 22, 23, you're boxers.
You're boxers.
And then
you still have the nice tight balls that don't really need support.
right. And then 23 and beyond, your boxer briefs.
Yeah, you gotta get a banana hammock for those fucking balls, cause.
And then when you hit 30, 35, 36, you just start going commando.
Yeah, you're on your own there. Cause I definitely could never do that. That would make me insane. Okay, so yeah, he thanks her for saving his life as well, and he's kind of like, why did you even tell me that you did the illegal search? And she wants the two to start over from the beginning, no secrets between them. He gives her his business card, and she's like, what does she say? Is this a crab?
Is this a lobster?
Yeah, she goes, is this a lobster? And he just takes it back like, wah, 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 wah. But he's like, I'll be around. And her nipples are fully erect at this point because she is turned on by this guy.
She is effectively now, since we've already had 2 Batman references, we might as well go for it. Kate is now his Commissioner Gordon. Basically.
Because we do later discover that they do have an angel emblem to shine in the sky.
They do.
And that's how he gets informed. We cut back to the office, and Angel's like, he's trying to be this new guy, and he's like, listen, why don't the 3 of us, go out and have a nice, night on the town, have some fun. And Cordelia's like, or we could all just go home. And Doyle is leaving too, and he's like, yep, and then you could just stay here and brood alone in the dark. And they leave, and Angel's like, God, yes, thank you. Because that's exactly what he wanted. He sits down, he kills the lights, and he broods in the dark. And that's our episode.
That is our episode. A little behind-the-scenes tidbit here. This was not the original 2nd episode of the series.
No?
No, David Fury wrote this episode to replace the original script for the 2nd episode entitled Corrupt. It also introduced the character of Detective Kate Lockley, but in the original script, she was working undercover as a prostitute and had a cocaine addiction. Producer Tim Minier says of the episode, it was, quote, a little bit too hopeless, a little too grim, with Fury going on to explain the network was shocked. they said, we can't shoot this. This is way too dark. He goes on to say, we were able to break a new idea. We had to turn it over in 3 days.
Yeah, I was going to say that is not something that's going to fly in, what is this, 2000 now?
No, still 99.
Still 99. That's not something that's going to fly in 1999 on the fucking WB network.
Right.
An undercover prostitute cop who has a cocaine addiction. Come on WB. What were they thinking?
But it goes to show you, between the second episode having to be completely rewritten and the scene we talked about last week in last week's episode with Angel licking Tina's blood off his fingers having to be cut. Like, they were really going for some dark shit with this show.
Yeah, they absolutely were, but what the fuck were they? It's the WB in 1999. They should have known better.
Right.
Like, you're not getting away with that. Like, whatever,
Jeremy.
Yes.
Can you guess
Mm-hmm.
what our body count is this week?
5.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, no, 6. I'm sorry. Kevin,
Why would you
Sharon.
say yes to me?
Sorry. Kevin, Sharon, Neil, the unidentified Asian woman, Danny the bartender, and the demon itself. So 6.
Oh, that's bullshit. Come on.
What?
Danny and Demon were one unit. Yes.
No.
Yeah. I get it. No, I get it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Danny and the Demon were one entity at that point.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Our music this week. Adam Hamilton, For You. Chain Suck, Emily Says, the Glory Hole remix. No joke.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
Helix, Guango, Kathy Sauce, Do You Want Me, Mark Cherry and Ian McKenzie, Lazy Days, THC, Girl Flesh, Ultra Electronic, Dissonance, Vast, Touched, Ian Fletcher, Dead Side, Sapien, Neoclimatic, and Christoph Beck and Robert J. Kral, our original score. Jeremy.
Yes.
Please tell me and our lovely, wonderful, beautiful listeners and viewers,
mm-hmm.
on a scale of 1 to 5,
Okay.
how many Batman references do you give this episode?
It's a 3.
Okay.
It's a 3 for me. Nothing wrong with it at all. A fun little episode. Nothing major groundbreaking. Wasn't as good as the opening episode. But it doesn't really move us forward with our overall season, series encompassing, I don't want to give anything away. I don't know how to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, fun little episode. Nothing special. Nothing bad. I took a point away, I think, for the visual effects. I didn't think they were very good, and I've seen them do better, so I know they can. Yeah, fine little episode. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay.
So, James.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 5,
mm-hmm.
How many cocaine-addicted hookers that are undercover cops would you give this episode?
Would you like to guess as per our new procedure?
I'm going to say you're going to give it a 4.
Okay. I am giving this episode, you are correct, 4 undercover cocaine-addicted prostitute cops.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good episode. There's nothing wrong with it. I like the introduction of Detective Kate. it's a good little self-contained episode. Kind of like it's not as good as our series premiere, um, but yeah, as far as the second episode goes, like I said, it's a good little self-contained episode. The writing's good, the acting, of course, is good. I liked the story. Like I said, I liked the introduction of Detective Kate, and kind of like this week's episode of Buffy. I feel like overall it's a decent little self-contained episode. So it's a 4.
All right. I just thought maybe one of the other reasons that I kind of maybe bumped it down a little bit
Mhm.
was I was never really a fan of the Kate character.
Okay.
It was like, for me, I remember when they first introduced her, in the first run, it was like, oh, they're gonna go with this whole, cliche thing. Hero needs a buddy cop that's on the force, and I was like, oh, it's so played out. And I liked the actress just fine. I just, I never was a big fan of the character, and I think that's probably one of the other reasons I kind of bumped it down. Wasn't a big fan of the Kate episodes, and you know.
Mm. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong.
All right. All righty. James, can you do me a huge favor?
Absolutely not. Go fuck yourself.
All right. Well, with that being said, can you tell our lovely listeners where to reach us on their interwebs?
You can hop onto the Google machine, and you can type in www.buffyrevisited.com. And once that HTTP loads up, you're going to see a link to our Facebook.
Now, what's HTTP stand for?
Something protocol.
Hypertext Transport Protocol.
Okay. Fucking nerd. Once you're there, you'll see a link to our Facebook, to our YouTube, to our email, which is buffyrevisited@gmail.com, and of course, to our OnlyFans, which is at nipples.
Right.
Feel free to go to any of those places and reach out to us. If you go to our YouTube, you will find obviously the video version of this very podcast that you're listening to right now.
This very one?
This very one.
So this is now?
This is now.
Okay.
Yep. And it's also then.
It is also then.
Yep.
Wow. Mind blown.
And you can leave comments on those videos.
And money. You can also leave money.
Leave money. That can go to our P.O. box.
Yeah. P.O. Box 69. At Goosefuck, Georgia.
And you can leave us comments on those videos, your thoughts, your opinions, your reviews, your ratings of the episode itself, and of the podcast, and of Jeremy and I. If you go to our Facebook, you can do that same exact thing. You will find, if you go to our Facebook right now, okay, you will find a post that pertains to this episode. Season 1, Episode 2, Lonely Hearts of Angel.
No fucking way.
Yeah, you'll find it.
I love technology.
And you will be able to leave us a comment on that post. And
or a dick pic.
Or a dick pic, or a titty pic, or a vag pic, or
I like to say a nip pic,
or an ass pic, or an ear pic, whatever, or a nostril pic, or more likely what you'll do is you will leave us again your comments, your thoughts, your reviews, your ratings of this episode. And again, or those things in regards to the podcast itself and Jeremy and I. The point is, reach out to us. You know, and we've said it many times, and we are seeing more activity in this area. We love hearing from you guys. We love seeing your thoughts and opinions and reviews and ratings of the episodes. We love seeing you guys interacting with each other and having your own discussions amongst yourselves about the episodes. So please keep that going. New people, please join in on that. We love it. We love to see it. That's what we're here for. So
We like it. We love it. We want some
more of it. Yeah.
Facts.
So all facts, no machine.
Hashtag facts. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for this week's episode of Angel. Next week's episode of Angel will be season 1, episode 3, In the Dark. And don't forget to join us the Monday prior to that for our episode of Buffy, which is season 4, episode 3, The Harsh Light of Day.
Yes.
With all that being said, I've been one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm the other host, James.